Hey there, I know you're on a journey from grief to growth, just like I am, and you may be looking for tools to help you live a more soul aligned life. Well, head over to my Grief to Growth store. It's your one stop shop for inspiration, for healing, and for transformation. Inside there, you're going to find some free resources to help you get started. You'll find guided meditations to calm your mind and reconnect with your spirit. You'll find signed copies of my book, Gems of Healing. You'll find my brand new Oracle deck to help you tap into daily divine guidance. And there's some powerful mini courses designed to fit in your busy life and move you forward one gentle step at a time. So whether you're deep in grief, seeking spiritual growth, or just ready for a reset, there's something waiting for you right now. Just go to grieftogrowth.com/store, grief numeral 2 growth.com/store, and start exploring. Hi there, I'm Brian Smith, and welcome to Grief to Growth. And whether you're tuning in for the first time, you've been walking this path with us for a while, I'm truly grateful that you're here. This show is all about helping you navigate the challenges of life with more clarity, purpose, and hope. Together, we explore life's biggest questions: who we are, why we're here, what happens when we die, and how do we make the most of our time while we're here. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome someone who has spent decades asking and helping others answer these and other profound questions. My guest is Theresa Cheung. She's an internationally renowned author and spiritual thought leader known for her best-selling books on dreams, spirituality, and the paranormal. She's been named one of the 100 most spiritually influential living people, and you may recognize her from appearances on ITV's This Morning, the BBC, or her own podcast, White Shores. In today's episode, we're going to dive deep into the mysterious and often misunderstood world of dreams. Why do some dreams form more real than waking life? What can recurring dreams and even nightmares teach us about our deepest fears, our desires, and our spiritual paths? Theresa will help us decode the messages that our subconscious and possibly even non-human entities might be trying to communicate through our dreams. We're also going to explore her thrilling debut novel, Nightborn. It's a chilling tale that blurs the line between waking life and the dream world. As we talk about the science, symbolism, and future of dream manipulation, Theresa raises some fascinating and maybe even a little frightening questions about the direction our technology is headed. So if you've ever had a dream that haunted you for days, or if you're curious about the deeper spiritual and psychological meaning behind your sleep time stories, this is the episode for you. And always, after you listen, I invite you to continue the conversation at my Substack at grieftogrowth.substack.com. You'll find an article there about today's episode and a conversation with other listeners. So with that, I'd like to welcome Theresa Cheung to Grief to Growth.
Thank you, Brian, for that wonderful introduction. And it's my honor to meet you because I have long admired your work. And I believe we spoke a few years ago, actually. And I'm just in awe of how you've grown your platform and all the healing and hope and comfort you are bringing across the globe. Thank you. It's absolutely my honor to be on your show. Thank you.
Well, that's very nice to hear. I appreciate that very much. So, Theresa, I know you've done a lot of work over the years, but I think this is your first novel. Tell me what inspired you to write a novel.
Yeah, I am. I jokingly say, I'm not a serial killer. I'm a serial author. I have been extremely blessed to be given the opportunity to publish nonfiction title after nonfiction title in the area. I'm best known for dreams, but actually people who follow me know I write about astrology, manifesting, rituals, angels, the afterlife, near-death experiences. There's very few topics there isn't a Theresa Cheung book out there about. So really blessed to be in that opportunity. But I have been writing since the late 90s in this area. It was my daughter actually who inspired me because she's a bookworm. She's absolutely passionate about books, but it's all fiction, Gothic romances and everything. And I've tried to encourage her to read nonfiction, and she's just not interested in it, especially because her mum does that.
Yeah.
I realized that she was, there are many people like that who won't necessarily engage with a nonfiction title. It's just not their vibe, because fiction is such a huge potential readership. And I'm passionate, as you are, about getting this spiritual message across, about dream decoding being a very important part of our lives. And I thought, well, why don't I try Dan Brown style, to write a thriller about the dreaming mind so that the novel can be read on two levels. On the first level, hopefully it keeps you on the edge of your seat. And the reviews coming in, have been that it's a page turner. It's very fast moving, and you want to know what happens to the main character who suddenly wakes up one day and everybody's dreaming about her. She's a psychology professor deep into Jungian theory, etc.
Mhm.
And the novel is her journey of finding out why on earth is she the subject of global nightmares, even people who don't know her. So you can read it on that level, but on another level, it's a subliminal messaging. As you read it, you will be getting a crash course in how to recall and understand your dreams and then use them for your personal and spiritual growth. So you can read it on two levels. So I hope subliminally fiction readers will also go away knowing more about their dreams. And actually, again, the feedback I'm getting not only is the shocking cover, for some reason, people find it very shocking and disturbing. It's visceral reaction to it. You either love it or hate it. People
Hmm.
seeing that are actually waking up the next morning and having more dream recall on their mind, which is what I want. And the same for the people who read it. I want people who read this book to wake up the following morning or the mornings after with wild and wonderful dreams and gratitude for them on their mind.
Wow, wow. So when it comes to dreams, there's different thoughts of dreams. Some people think it's just our subconscious reorganizing things, but obviously you think dreams are much more than that. So what
Yeah.
would you describe dreams as being? What are they here to tell us?
They hold up a mirror to your current mindset and what it is attracting into your life, both positive and negative. That's
Hmm.
what they are. They kind of like offer you, almost like an Akashic Records, a snapshot of your current mindset. And that is so important because in our waking lives, many of us don't really know what we truly deep down at our core, at a soul level, think or feel. But dreams, they don't lie. They are your best friend. And
Hmm.
people often think dreams happen to them. They don't. Dreams are created by you, for you, and they're all about you. And that can be both liberating and terrifying because often in our dreams, we come up close and personal with our deepest, darkest fears of the unknown,
Hmm.
of of the mystery of life itself. And that's why so many, I believe 95% of our dreams are anxiety themed for that reason, because a lot of us during the day don't want to confront that. We distract ourselves with the noise and the bustle and the busyness of life and the
Hmm.
material distractions. Our waking lives are outside in, but at night, when we fall asleep and dream, the material world is paralyzed, logic and reason disappear, and what we are left with is the part of our brain that is pure intuition, pure creativity, but also pure compassion and empathy.
Hmm.
And connect into that, almost like when we recharge our phone. I believe the reason we sleep is to dream, because we need to go back and reconnect with where our soul currently is to
Hmm.
get a snapshot of where we currently are and what our current mindset, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our words, what they are attracting into our lives. A lot of people get scared about that and think dreams, oh my goodness, if I dream something awful, it's going to happen. Well, potentially, dreams do showcase a potential future if you don't course correct a certain mindset. But it's
Hmm.
so liberating because dreams also show if you wake up with a dream and you feel really unpleasant and you didn't like what you felt or saw, this is a wonderful transformative gift because it's your opportunity to take some time out, meditate, reflect on what you're thinking, feeling, doing, and saying, and think about what it is attracting. And if you don't like what that dream showed you, it could potentially attract. You have the choice and the power to change the potential future you might be attracting in your dreams.
Interesting. That's a really interesting way to look at it because I know, as you said, a lot of people they'll have a dream of something, a future event, and they think this is bad. I'm bringing this into my life, but you're saying it's an opportunity to
It's an
course
opportunity
correct.
to course correct, but also
Yeah.
dreams speak in this bizarre, weird, dark, symbolic language.
Hmm.
The dreaming mind is a frustrated artist. You know how artists and poets, they don't actually say literally what they mean.
Right.
You, as the art critic, the poetry and analyst, have to read it on and then go beneath the surface.
Hmm.
A great work of art will not be just the picture, it will be what it stirs inside you and the meanings that you dig deep beneath it. Exactly the
Hmm.
same with the poem. We all had poetry analysis at school. Some of us were better at it than others. First time you read the poem and you think, I do not understand a word of this. But
Hmm.
then the teacher would come in and tell you about symbols, about metaphors, about association, about figurative language, about pathetic fallacy, when nature mirrors the mood of a character. And then you would suddenly get a eureka moment. And I get what the poet's trying to express here
Hmm.
in wonderful, it's the language of visionaries. And even if you don't think you're creative or artistic or poetic in your waking life, in your dream state, you are the ultimate visionary, the ultimate poet, the ultimate artist. We all have night vision. And it breaks my heart that people don't understand that about dreams. There's so much fear and misunderstanding about them, just as there is about the afterlife.
Hmm.
And my role is to try and remove that fear, translate it into excitement, because they are really powerful self-help tools for your personal and spiritual growth, if you know how to work with them.
Yeah, and you mentioned something earlier about percentage of dreams that are anxiety latent, and so I'm glad to find I'm not the only one
Oh
because my
no.
dreams are they're all about me being lost. I'm like I'm in a place I don't know. I'm trying to get somewhere. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what time I'm supposed to be there.
Oh, I love that about you because you have to be lost before you find yourself. And your dreaming mind is showing you all these scenarios and wanting you to rejoice in being lost, as hard as that may be, because that's what life is all about. If we all know all the answers and we found the destination, our journey on Earth is over.
Yeah, yeah,
The journey on Earth, as I'm sure you know, it's an Earth school. It's constantly being lost. And in that losing, opening your mind to a new perspective and finding a new direction to head down. It's all about the journey, life. And people always think we've got to have the answers. It's all got to be neatly tied up. And that's why I go back to the poetry analogy again. Poetry doesn't make sense. And that's the whole point of it. Your
yeah,
dream is supposed to make sense.
yeah.
But they really aren't. They're supposed to make you fall in love with the questions and to ask better questions next time, not necessarily to constantly get so obsessed with answers and, oh, that's all sorted. Because answers, actually, if you look at brain research, when people are given answers, their brain kind of quietens down.
Hmm.
But when they're given a question, all the brain lights up in a way that it doesn't when you get an answer or one that satisfies you. So please, if you're listening, just fall in love with those words, what if? Make
Yeah,
those your mantra.
yeah,
And
yeah.
get comfortable with life being a question mark, because an analogy I often use is we know why a woman cries in pain when she gives birth to a child. So we're not that overly concerned unless
Hmm.
in extreme cases. So we kind of like a bit nonchalant, aren't
Hmm.
we?
Hmm.
Because we know it's just part of the process. Imagine we knew that about everything in life, the reason for the suffering. Wouldn't we just walk on by?
Hmm.
Wouldn't activate our compassion, our
Yeah.
empathy. And empathy and compassion are also why we're here on this earth. Not only to be curious and open-minded and loving, but also to have empathy and compassion. I would not want to live in a world where everybody was nonchalant because we knew why all bad things happened. What a horrible world to live in.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm excited to announce I have a great new resource. It's called GEMS, 4 Steps to Move from Grief to Joy. And what it is, it's 4 things that I've found that I do on a daily basis to help me to navigate my grief. And I'm offering it to you free of charge. It's a free download. Just go to my website, www.grieftogrowth.com/gems, GEMS, and grab it there for free. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, that's a really interesting point, because I was just listening to a podcast earlier this week. It was Dr. Bernardo Kastrup, and he was talking about whenever we're presented with a problem, let's say, we always look for the human mind says, let's find an answer to it. We've got to solve it. And the older I get, the more I realize it's like we're not going to have all the answers, while we're here. There's some things that are just they're paradoxes. They just don't see they're never going to make sense, I don't think.
Yeah, but it's like life is experimental. I mean, I work with scientists and neuroscientists, learned a lot from their approach that
Hmm.
they don't think of experiments that don't give the results they hope for as failure. They just see
Right,
it as another learning experience.
right.
informs them moving forward. And everyone, we've all faced heartache, disappointment, setbacks. If you could just start thinking of this is just more wisdom. This is just helping me evolve. Everything, lesson or a blessing, is helping me evolve. It's a wonderfully liberating way to live. And I think that is spiritual awakening when you get to that process. And dream work, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about promoting it is dream work is the first step. Because when you start writing down your dreams and thinking about the meanings and the questions and the emotions they trigger and the insights, you are starting to discover that life is an ongoing learning adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You have night school and you have day school. Fall in love with that learning process. You are really awakening spiritually when you don't even realize it. Every dream decoded is a kind of a mini spiritual awakening because it helps you understand yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of problems in life are people not really understanding what they're all about. I think the journey to self-awareness is the first starting point for personal and spiritual growth. And that self-awareness will hopefully in time, you'll find compassion for yourself. You'll understand with your self-awareness why you messed up, why things didn't work out, why that
Mm-hmm.
person wasn't right for you, why you lost someone, why all these things happened. So you've got your self-awareness, then hopefully self-compassion, and then the Holy Grail, self-belief, that you believe that things happen to you for a reason and a
Mm-hmm.
purpose and a higher meaning that you may not understand right now, but you will one day. And I think self-belief is where we've all got work to do for various reasons. Childhood trauma, what's happened to us. A lot of us lack self-belief.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's where we need to get in life, is self-belief, that even if I'm messing up or getting it wrong, I still believe in my soul's journey, and it doesn't matter because I'm learning.
Yeah.
And in some ways, with my novel at the beginning, I'm not a fiction writer. I'm fully aware of that, opening myself out for criticism. But I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I believe in my message about mainstreaming dream work. And this is
Yeah.
just another me trying in another way.
Yeah.
I've launched a new radio show with UK Health Radio as well, weekly live show, which is terrifying.
Mm.
I get people calling in to decode their dreams live and have special guests and stuff. Again, that may not work out. My novel may not work out, but I don't see any of them anymore as disappointments if they don't. I just feel that it's something I'm passionate about and I will learn and grow through them. And I'm sure you found that in your life when things don't work out or whatever, somehow other doors open and other connections form. And it's following that invisible thread that
Yeah.
you to be on.
Yeah.
Works
Well,
to
you,
start that, because every time you have a dream, you're reminded that there's more to you than your body. Because the mysterious world where you go in the dreams, it feels so real, doesn't it? And it is real because it's you in another state of consciousness.
yeah, it's weird. Every once in a while, I'll have a dream and I'll become lucid in my dream, and then I'll just become fascinated by I've created all this, and I can
Yes,
feel
so
the
much.
sunshine on my skin, and I can feel that brick wall, and it's like it's really a strange feeling when that happens.
You're reconnecting with the sacred part of you, your soul. And it's sad, actually, when people do become lucid, a lot of the first response is fear and panic, and the dream collapses.
Mm-hmm.
The more meditation you do during the day, and the more during the day that when things trigger you, you learn to stay calm, take deep breaths, do meditation, the more likely you are in the dream state when you suddenly become aware you're dreaming to stay calm too and keep the dream alive. And it's a very, very powerful thing, lucid dreaming. And I would encourage anyone who does wake up in their dream, not wake up, become conscious in their dream. They know
Mm-hmm.
they're dreaming, to actually say, well, I want to see myself happy and fulfilled. I want to see myself doing what I want to do with my life. That is so powerful because the brain doesn't know the difference between the sleeping, the dreaming, and the waking state.
Hmm.
And if it sees that happening in the dreaming state, it will believe it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And again, going to self-belief. So when you wake up, you have experienced it in the dream state. A part of your brain is taking it as fact. And that's tremendous power, because we talk about manifesting, the power of positive belief to
Mm-hmm.
attract into your life what you want. So if you've dreamt something, you really can do it. That sounds very Disney cliched. If you can dream it, you can do it, but you can,
Hmm.
because a part of you, your deep core unconscious part of you, has seen it happen, believes fully in it. being possible for you.
Hmm.
You truly believe something's possible from the deepest level
Right.
outside, it's so much more likely to happen.
Right.
It's so much more powerful to dream you can do something than to do your affirmations and your visualizations. That's outside in. Dream is inside out.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned earlier that a lot of times people think that dreams happen to them, and you're saying that we create our dreams.
Yeah.
So, is there a way that we can work on creating the dreams that we want?
Yes. First of all, make your life an open-minded, curious one. Do meditation, because meditation taps into the intuitive and creative and dreaming part of your brain. Meditation is key, and it doesn't have to be hours. I often speak to people who meditate for hours, and I think, who's got time for that? Just a couple of minutes a day where you go into that observer role. Meditation really is stepping outside of yourself and noticing but not identifying with your thoughts. And we can all do that. And we do actually do it in the dream state, because dreaming really is meditating when you're asleep, because you're going into an observer role and you're seeing symbolic reenactment of your current mindset. So do that more during the day. Read more poetry in the day. Practice the dreaming state, the language that the dreaming mind loves. Read more fiction. Listen to music that gives you goosebumps. All these things which immediately connect to the dreaming part of your mind. Do more of that during the day. And above all, start believing in the possibility of your dreams and that dreams matter. Because if you don't believe in that, or you're still conditioned with the old-fashioned, and it is very old-fashioned view that dreams are random firings of the brain, I would like you to go and look at the latest sleep and dream research, which shows that dream recall is a sign of a very, very creative and active brain, and it's a sign of holistic well-being. So you might want to look at that research. And even some sleep scientists are now saying the reason we fall asleep is not to rest, because when we are asleep, our body moves and our brain is active dreaming. It's not to rest, it's actually to dream. They don't know why we dream, but dreams seem to be fundamental for concentration, for memory, for emotional well-being.
Yeah. They've
Even if you
done,
can't remember your dreams, you are dreaming 5 or 6 times at night. You're just not recalling it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know there are some people that say that they don't dream, but that's just not true, because if you
No.
don't dream, you actually go insane.
No, we are dreaming beings. I mean, if you don't dream, brain scans show that every night, at least 5 or 6 times we dream, right? You've just got into the habit of not recalling them. The inner housekeeping is happening every night, but your dreaming mind, the recall's not happening, because your dreaming mind is a bit despondent, because you've for many decades, dismissed your dreams as being important, right? Or not taken them seriously. It's very hard for them to break through that mindset barrier. So
Okay.
first of all, you've got to release that. I mean, it's a bit like a friend who constantly texts you and you never text back. After a while, that friend's going to get a bit like, well, they're not interested. And you could think of personify your dreaming mind like that. Think of it like someone who's trying to talk to you every night, a therapist who's offering you golden, precious wisdom, but you're just not noticing it or paying attention to it. After a while, it's going to kind of like get despondent.
Yeah.
You need to actually reassure your dreaming mind that it matters, that you're taking it seriously. And listening to this interview, because we're focusing on dream work, may well do the trick. I really hope everyone who listens to this interview wakes up with a dream on their mind, simply because for whatever time this interview runs, we've been talking about dreams. So where your attention goes in the day is where your energy flows and what shows up in your dreams at night. So pay attention to what you're doing in the day. Before you go to sleep at night, tell yourself, I'm going to have a wonderful dream. Take me away, dreaming mind. Beam me up.
Yeah.
And I remember it in the morning. Then in the morning, don't immediately jump out of bed. Ideally, I'd love you to wake naturally, because alarm clocks are the enemy of dream recall, because the transition from dreaming to waking is too sudden.
Oh.
You need to enjoy those liminal states, those powerful hypnagogic states. And it's only 1 or 2 minutes. Love people to train themselves to wake up naturally, because your dream recall will just flower. And when you wake up, ideally naturally, stay still for 1 or 2 minutes. That's all it takes. Check in with your heart and your gut, because intuitive memories from your dreams are often buried there. And just see what images and keywords surface. And as soon as one does, sit up and just write them down. Now, in the morning, we're all busy. We can't write a novel, because sometimes dreams are so incredibly detailed. You know, you can understand why they've inspired novels like Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, Stephen King's novels, Dan Brown, you can understand why, dreams have formed the basis for many great works of literature. In fact, actually, if you are a writer and have a creative block, just write down your latest dream. You will immediately connect to the part of your brain that's intuitive and creative.
Hmm.
But just write down a few keywords like, I don't know, whatever you dreamt about, window, road, dog, I know, whatever. That's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 symbols are enough, and then leave it. And then later in the day, start doing some free association around those symbols and see where you can apply it to your waking life. But don't just do it for one dream. I often tell people, don't start decoding your dream until you've got at least 20. You need to use the benefit of hindsight with dream work. That's a really neglected thing that people don't do with their dream work. They get hung up on one particularly vivid, colorful dream that stands out and just obsess about that. But your dreaming mind is working on your behalf every single night. It's like a long-running TV series that you've got to tune into every night. And if you miss an episode, that's sad because you might miss a key part of the plot. So whatever mundane your dream is, write them down and harvest, as I say in one of my titles, harvest at least 20 dreams. Then start doing your dream decoding. See if you can detect patterns and themes. Also see how your dreaming mind has been like a poetic voiceover to your waking life. And you will see this parallel you. You will see the journey of your soul commenting on your waking life. You will see it because people are very skeptical about their dream work and have come to me and saying this is all nonsense, it's imagination. I always say the same. Come back to me when you've had 20 dreams, sign and date them, because I need the date. And give me a few key events in your waking life that have gone on at the same time. We then have a conversation, and in all cases, they've gone away with a totally, radically transformed view about their dreams and how their dreams are trying to point out areas in their waking life or mindsets that are no longer serving them. And that's why so many dreams are anxiety ones, or areas in their life that are really precious and important and true to their values that they are neglecting in their waking life because their ego, logic, and reason and the material world is too noisy for the intuitive, creative part of you to say, scream to you as it tries to in the day. It does try to. This matters for your heart for your soul's journey, but you're not paying attention to what truly matters. So it has to resort to the dream state when the material world is quietened down.
Yeah, thank you. That's interesting. So, we've been talking about dreams, and we talk about, a lot of mine at least are anxiety filled, but there's also what we call nightmares. What purpose do nightmares serve?
Well, nightmares are just extreme dreams. People think
Yeah.
they're different. They're
Yeah.
basically when your dreaming mind has reached a point where it has sent you the rainbows and the unicorns and the being late for an appointment or forgetting your lines on stage or being chased or being late. It sends you these dreams night after night, but you're not paying attention to them. So what it will do, it will use tough love and resort to shock tactics, because one thing is guaranteed with a nightmare. You are going to reflect on it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you are going, and that's all your dreaming mind wants. It wants that connection with you. It's crying out to be embraced and to be loved. It's your soul calling you. And sometimes it will use vampires or serial killers or scenes of execution or violence or cheating or things that you would never contemplate doing in your waking life. It will do that for one purpose and one purpose only, to get your attention.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
go away and reflect on where you currently are with your mindset.
Yeah.
That's all it wants.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty wild because, well, another thing I want to ask you about is, when we in our dreams, some of us believe we're actually leaving our bodies, we're visiting the astral planes, etc. And sometimes we have dream visits with our loved ones who have passed over. But every once in a while, someone will have a dream about their loved ones passed over. That's a negative dream or as a nightmare. How would we talk about that?
That is difficult because afterlife dreams, for when they're positive, are very healing for the grief journey.
Yeah.
They remind you that death ends a life and not a relationship. If it's negative, I would suggest that this actually is more going into the symbolic category of dreams rather than an afterlife one. You've got to look at the symbolism.
Mm.
What your departed loved one is saying about an aspect of your own personality. This is more about your personal growth, in my humble opinion. It's not actually, but your dreaming mind is resorting to using the avatar of a departed loved one to say, look, what's going on in your mindset. So think about what that departed, don't think about them. I know that's hard.
Right.
Don't think about who they are, but what keyword do you associate with them, and how are you expressing that in your daily life?
Yeah.
Go away and work on that. It's all about Jungian. It's very Jungian. It's about projection and integration and all that, which is a very, very deep psychology. But if it's unpleasant, because I believe the afterlife is always elevating and empowering, and if you get an afterlife visit from a departed loved one, it should raise you up. If, on the other hand, it drags you down, this is time to look at what's going on in your own mindset. This isn't about the departed loved one. They have become a symbol. Just like, for example, a rainbow is a symbol of hope.
Right.
You know, or a snake is often a symbol of transformation. You've got to think, what has my departed loved one, what symbol have they become? And what does it say about my current mindset? That is a symbolic dream. It's not in any way saying that your loved one is unhappy. It is just your dreaming mind using their disguise to tell you something important for your personal growth. The more positive afterlife dreams are spiritual experiences. I believe that dreams are a powerful afterlife sign. And there is research into that, you know, from the University of Northampton here in the UK to show that afterlife dreams I think it was over 90% of cases, really helped the grief journey when all forms of other grief therapy didn't.
Yeah, you know, I think I can see how that would be true. I know that a lot of times when people, the thing that people seem to cherish more than anything when they have a departed loved one is that dream visit. You know, people say, I want the dream visit. I want them to come to me in my dreams.
But if they don't, please don't despair. They are coming to you in other ways. They are coming to you in memories during the day. They are coming through potentially afterlife signs or synchronicities or that song you hear on the radio. They have chosen, it's their choice. They have chosen not to do the dreams for whatever reason, I don't know, but they will be alive around and within you in other ways. So please don't feel like a failure or it's disappointing or they don't want to talk to me. Absolutely not. They've just decided that a better way to reach you is through signs, through the people you meet, through words you overhear, through music that gives you goosebumps. Then they're alive through a sudden memory you have when they jump into your mind for no reason. These are very subtle afterlife dreams, just as nocturnal dreams are subtle signs as well. They could do it in so many ways. And they also may not do it because they think, you know that I'm alive. You know that I haven't gone, that my consciousness lives on. You know that. And I'm not going to, pamper you. You've got to get on with your precious life. Learn what you've got to learn. And, death is just a heartbeat away. Time doesn't exist on the other side. From all my research with mediums, and I'm sure time doesn't exist. It's an illusion. And they're busy learning and growing because the learning doesn't stop on the other side. They've got things to do.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate that because that's why I try to encourage my clients to understand. It's like the dream visit is nice, but it's not the be all and end all of they come to us in many different ways, and there may be reasons. You may be a person that doesn't recall their dreams, so they may have come to you and you don't remember,
They
or
probably have been there. Maybe they've been knocking away for night on night, and you just not think right.
yeah,
Maybe
that
they
is.
have. Maybe they have, and you haven't recalled that. I hadn't thought about that before. That's beautiful, Brian. Thank you.
And I also tell people be careful what you wish for. Without revealing, I have clients that they just want to have that dream visit, and then I have one just recently that had the dream visit and got very frightened because it was so real that it scared them. So
Switch fear to excitement. I'm sure you told that this is you've got to, when you feel fear, it's where your growth is. Go where your fear is.
yeah,
Because it's a signal that there's growth on the horizon.
that's an excellent point. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this phenomenon called the this man phenomena, I guess. I hadn't heard of that before. Tell me about that.
inspired my novel, really. I think it was 2008, where a marketing company put up a very sort of generic image online of a male and said, so many people are dreaming of this person. Have you met this man? And of course, in our dreams, we've all met strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And the sketch was so generic. What it caught on, it became a phenomenon that thousands of people were across the globe were dreaming of this man, and there was a website set up, but it actually turned out to be a marketing hoax. It showed the power of suggestion and
Mm-hmm.
subliminal flashes, but also it tapped into the appearance of a mysterious stranger in our dreams. I mean, all of us have had dreams where there are people in it we don't know who they are, but we
Right.
know
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah, and who are they? Because they're all aspects of our own personality, our
Right.
side, our inner child, expressed again symbolically. But the dreaming mind and its cleverness makes them feel so real. So that actually did inspire Nightborn, really, because I
Okay.
was thinking, imagine if you're a psychology professor and you're deep into Jung and the idea of projection and the power. Dream work is used in Jungian psychology, Freudian dream analysis, and suddenly you wake up and your pupils are saying, "I've dreamt about you," and then strangers are saying, "Oh my God, I saw you in my dream last night." And
Hmm.
then it starts to escalate. What is going on? Why have you become an archetype of the stranger in people's dreams? And what power have you got over people's minds then? Because if
Hmm.
you're moonlighting in people's dreams, you have tremendous power.
Yeah. That.
And can you trust yourself with that power? You,
Yeah.
that you become the most famous and the most dreamt about person on the planet. You've kind of got people at a soul level.
Yeah.
Um, and I just thought, this is a gift. I kind of thinking, this is a movie. Come on, Netflix. I live near Netflix, actually. I can see Netflix. I live close by.
Hmm.
Because it
Wow.
would be a great way to mainstream dream work and capture people about the potential power of dream hacking and subliminal flashes when you see an image,
Mm-hmm.
imprints, and then it shows up in your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really untapped area of mind control that we need to be careful about. Just
Yeah.
imagine we all start dreaming of the same things, or subliminal messages get inputted into our dreams. Now, this was explored by Christopher Nolan, of course, in the movie Inception.
I was just thinking of Inception. Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. Christopher Nolan, interestingly, he does not use a mobile phone, stays away from that distraction, and is a vivid, lucid dreamer.
Hmm.
Plots come to him in his dreams, and you can see that. All his movies, so creative, so rich in powerful dream symbolism.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, if anyone wants convinced about the power of the dreaming mind, theory of relativity, everyone, the inspiration from it came to Einstein
Yeah.
in a dream, because when he was awake, logic and reason stopped him making creative connections. But in the dreaming state, as I said, logic and reason don't exist. You suspend disbelief. And when you're in that state, you can make wild connections and leaps of faith you simply can't do when you're awake because your logic and reason won't let you.
Yeah. I think it's true that when Einstein was stuck on a problem, he would go take a nap.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, you would. And actually, napping is a great way for dream recall because it's fascinating. When you nap, it's like the body knows you're not going to go into the deep stages, the non-dreaming stages of sleep.
Hmm.
You're not going to go there. So what it does, this person wants to be restored. So I'm going to give them what they really need, which is a dream.
Mm.
So you go in that light stage of sleep immediately, which is REM, which is where most, not all, but most dreaming occurs.
Yeah.
And that's why you feel energized after a nap. It's not because you slept or rest, it's because you've dreamt on it. And the same when you go to sleep at night. Um, People say, "Oh, a problem will be better in the morning." It often is after a good night's sleep. It's not the sleep; it's the dreaming.
Yeah.
The work's been going on behind the scenes, whether you recall or not. So if you do wake up in the morning with a solution to a problem, or you just feel a bit lighter and better, it's the dreaming that's
Yeah.
behind it. All that work, all that intuition, creativity, empathy, and compassion working on your behalf, trying to help you evolve. It happens, people, every night. Dreams happen.
Yeah.
No,
Well, as you were saying, I was thinking, sometimes when I'm meditating, I guess I wouldn't really call it dreaming, but I guess it is kind of dreaming, even though I'm not really asleep.
meditation like actually is dreaming with your awake.
Okay.
It's the same like when you get lost in a work of fiction, that's dreaming with eyes wide open.
Mm-hmm.
It is meditation is a way to dream. You're absolutely right, because again, you go into this observational stance where you get an overview of your thoughts, feelings, actions, and words, but you don't identify with it.
Mm-hmm.
Think of every dream, actually, when you write it down, as a kind of a meditation in the morning, that
Yeah.
you're rising above, you're getting a snapshot. So, yes, meditation is dreaming, in my humble opinion, but conscious dreaming. It's a kind of almost lucid dream when you're awake.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But Theresa, I know you have to go, so I want to honor your time, but tell us a little bit more about the book and where people can find it. It's out now, right?
It is out now, and thank you so much, because I'm most well known for my many, 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 many nonfiction titles. I'm very blessed and privileged. I never take that for granted to write book after book in this area. I have
Hmm.
more coming out this next year. I had about 6 books coming out this year. I'm
Oh,
very
wow.
blessed. For all my nonfiction publishers, Harper, Hachette, the ones that I work with, I said to them I want to write a novel, and I thought that they would maybe help me, but they put me in a box.
Yeah,
And often in life, you get that when you struggle to be different, people don't like it.
exactly.
And they just raised their eyebrows and went, no way. So very kindly, an independent publisher took pity on me. And this independent publisher, I'm very grateful to. They have been sending authors to my podcast over the years. So we had a report and they said, let's take a leap of faith in you. So they very kindly allowed me to be different.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting actually, because Nightborn is actually about being different, because the lead character, Professor Alice Sinclair, who is a psychology professor, she has different colored eyes and she hides that behind a
Hmm.
pair of blue lenses. So it's all about, when you feel different or you're outside the box, and learning how powerful actually being different is, and being true to who you are at a soul level, because dreams, again, are so honest. They never lie to you. They want you to know who you truly are, and to love the messy, the ugly, the good, the bad, all of it, because all of it is the bigger picture, the tapestry of you that you need to just understand and have compassion for, and see it as part of your soul's evolution. So the book's about that,
Hmm.
and it's out there in the world. And you're an author. When you put books out, it's like a baby, isn't it? You have to just let it fly, and
Yeah.
it finds its readers. I mean, the people who have read it have been like, oh my God, this is wild. But I'm remembering my dreams. Thank you. So I hope it's
Yeah.
people who are meant to read it. I think that with every book, that a book will find its way to who needs to read it when
Yeah.
they're open to it. I truly believe that, actually. That's why I actually struggle with, I'm much happier talking to you about dreams than pushing a product. I've always struggled with that throughout my writing career. My
Hmm.
publishers hate me for it. I often tell people that my dream dictionary, which is my HarperCollins one, my publishers say, "Will you stop saying that?" Because I say to people, well, actually, the best dream dictionary is the one you write yourself, because no association becomes before the archetypal and the common. So
Yeah.
stop saying that. But I do. I very much believe the books will appear when you're ready. And I love the fact that my books have appeared in dentist surgeries or left on the tube, and people have contacted me like that. I love
Yeah.
that. They
Yeah.
become like symbols. So I hope Nightborn will appear in the lives of people who are ready to dare to dream, and
Yeah.
to dream so big.
Well, I think it's great that you're doing that crossover to reach the fictional, because I'm the opposite of your daughter. I don't read fiction. I only read nonfiction. So this
Really?
will be this will be the exception for me when I'll get it.
Okay, well, brace yourself. It's weird, it's dark, but please love it, everyone.
Yeah. Well, Theresa, again, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure. I'd love to have you back.
I'd love that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Brian. Privileged to talk to you. Thank you.
All right. And people can reach you. It's theresachung.com, right?
It is. I'm on Instagram as well, at the Theresa Cheung.
All right, cool. The links will be in the show notes. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, Theresa.
Sweet dreams, everyone.
Bye. Have you ever wished for gentle guidance or comforting word exactly when you need it most? Well, I've created my Love Lives On Oracle deck just for that purpose. Now, this isn't a deck that's about predictions. It's about connection. Every card has been thoughtfully designed to guide you through life's toughest moments, to illuminate your path and help to remind you that you're never alone, that your loved ones are always there right beside you. So whether you're seeking clarity, comfort, or a loving message from beyond, each card is here to speak directly to your soul. And along with the deck comes a downloadable PDF guide that you can use that will give you an affirmation for the day, something to reflect on, and even an activity to do to keep you connected to your loved one. So check out the Love Lives On Oracle deck today. You can get it at stan.store/grief to growth. Stan.store, STAN.store/grief, numeral 2, growth.